Welcome to the Reframe Lab, where conversations shape perspectives. The mission and aim is trying to uncover hidden aspects that are reshaping our businesses and societies. And we are very obliged, Frank, to have you as part of the studios today.
Thank you for having me.
So Napster, we all know Napster. To users, Napster was revolutionary. At its peak, it had over 80 million users. Napster has gone through a number of acquisitions, and last year it was acquired by a multi-billion-dollar startup, Infinite Reality. And Napster has pivoted officially to become an artificial intelligence company. It sells agents. You have thousands of AI artists, and Napster's words, we've evolved from a place where you listen to artists to a place where you become one. No label, no human catalog. Now, as one Reddit commentator puts it, this is the new Napster era, but it is an era of profound uncertainty on three fronts, all at once: technological, geopolitical, and economic. Call it the age of the unsettled. Nobody knows whose jobs survive, nobody knows which nations lead, and no one knows who ends up holding the value. And the angriest of these three arguments is the first one: jobs. We're at the heart of an industrial revolution, and we can feel it. It is a new industrial revolution, and many predict it will be brutal. So if we just look at just June, this month alone, in America, Senator Bernie Sanders wants to introduce a US AI Sovereign Wealth Fund Act. It's a one-time 50% tax on the largest AI companies, so effectively giving public a direct ownership stake. France, if we see France this month, France's Senate has already passed a bill that would force AI companies to prove they didn't train on creators' work. So the argument, what is the argument? The foundation of this argument is that the foundation of AI is our collective human intelligence. It's our books, it's our songs, our artwork, our journalism, our ideas. It is our human intelligence. And these are all being kind of fed into these systems without permission, without acknowledgement, and without compensation. So kind of finally, the strangest part out of all this is that these frontier labs, the largest AI companies that are building these brains, are not making profit. They're not making any money. And OpenAI is projected to lose $14 billion this year alone, $14 billion. Frank, so my question to you is that you sit exactly where all this collides. You're the senior vice president of Napster, an agentic AI company built on a name that once turned the industry upside down. And this kind of really makes you a perfect person to have this discussion with and to understand your perspective. Because while the rest of us, we are debating, and these are all predictions, but you're actually deploying this technology into the real world. So I suppose what we really want to ask you is, take us inside Napster today. What are you selling, and who's buying? Who's buying from you? It's a very crowded field. Everyone wants to chase agentic AI. So what makes Napster's agentic AI so competitive?
Thank you for your question. One of the excitement of my role, as you said, as a senior vice president, but also general manager of Saudi Arabia, is that I live every single day the excitement, the energy to actually building the future in Napster. Back in the 1999, we disrupted the digital world by streaming music. Today, Napster it's a different company. It's a completely different company where the focus is actually streaming experiences, expertise, streaming intelligence, right? So what we are trying to do is to, again, disrupt the market by, let's say, instead of having the power of AI managed by just X number of companies. We want to give the power back to the user.
So how are you doing that?
Because the user needs to own, the user or the companies needs to own their clients or their fans. At the same time, they need to own the data for it. So I give you an example. Today, if you are a company and you want to engage with your audience, today you don't own that audience because you need to go through always third parties, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, essentially. So in reality, if you want to engage with them, you need to ask permissions or buy a fee to those third parties to actually engage with your audience. That is not right? Because your audience, it's yours, if you know what I mean. But secondly, everything that is happening in those platforms, all the data that comes with it, again, you don't own it, that data. So what we're trying to do here is to create an agentic AI platform where all the data, all these information, all these training of these intelligent systems sits in your own corporate and not giving them to third parties.
Okay, so you're trying to democratize the system. Is that what you're trying to do?
We are trying to democratize a number of things, accessing to the platform, but at the same time, we are trying to democratize the, the deployment of this technology that can be done by anyone, and you don't need to spend lots of money to actually deploy this technology within your organization.
So who is training your model, though, the AI agent itself? You must have an initial brain. So in terms of training the AI agent, have you, are you not also the third party?
Specifically, the technology that we provide, it's actually to give you the opportunity to upload your own knowledge to train that model. But those knowledge, nobody's processing it.
But the model itself, who's training the model?
The model, basically the underlying model technology, it can be any LLM. So we are LLM agnostic. You can use OpenAI, Gemini, or whatever, but those are the corporate models. It's not ChatGPT. So they're not accessible by anyone. So actually, we use just the model as a technology. But the content that comes with that model, it's actually that you will provide into the platform.
You brought it back, and there's a genius in there. What are your reflections? Why bring this name back? Why not anyone else? Is it only the innovation and disruption aspect?
It's primarily related to the brand that meant back at the time.
Disruption.
Where it's disruption, but more than disruption, because everybody can disrupt something, right? Here, it's more than disruption. Here, it's actually revolution, the market. We revolutionized at the time, back in 1999, Napster revolutionized that specific market. We are trying to do the same with AI, where again, the power doesn't sit on just a number of, stores or boxes.
Okay.
But actually, you are the owner of your own clients. You are the owner of the data of your own clients as well.
So this is exactly the message that's given out by the OpenAI, by Microsoft, by Google. So what is it that they are doing wrong, which you are doing differently?
Well, they're not doing anything wrong. Actually, they're doing a really great job.
Okay.
Because we have to admit, without them, we wouldn't have any LLM. Right?
True.
So it's good that they keep improving their LLM, and some of them compete to each other or whatever. So the LLM for us is just a piece of the technology, but it cannot be used without, by the clients without a proper layer out of it. So think about it.
And you are the layer.
We believe that we are the right layer. The reason why for that, if you think about it today, the only way that you interact with this phenomenal intelligence platform, it's using an old technology, which is a prompt. So it's something that, right now, me and you, we are not having a podcast using a prompt. What we are doing right now, we are talking, but more importantly, we are looking to each other, we understand the body language, and we create that chemistry between the two, right? The same, that's what we are doing with AI. So we created this layer called human-like agentic AI platform, where the agents are not macros or forms, but actually they are real people that has got not only the knowledge, but we built also the persona model of these people.
So replacing people.
It's not replacing, it's actually giving superpower to the people.
How are you giving superpower to the people? If an agent itself can replace me, for example, or you, what is the point of you or me?
The agent doesn't replace you. The agents make you much more effective in your job.
Right.
And I'll give you an example. So if today you're going to go in at the LEAP at the end of August, right?
Yes.
So I'm sure you will go and you will do all the booking, plane, hotels, whatever. How long is it going to take to do that?
It's going to take, it's going to take some time, and I'll probably have admin to do it.
Exactly.
An administrator, human administrator.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is you don't need the human administrator.
No, what I'm saying is that the agent will do the human administrator work, and the administrator can do actually more things for you.
And we can see entry-level jobs, graduate-level jobs are being taken over by AI, artificial intelligence, and that is exactly why there's been such a pushback on AI and AI agents, because their role, they can replace humans, and it's probably just a matter of time. So if we look at the former Prime Minister Rishi Sunak on Newsnight, highlighted this, and he came up with, there's a new term going around CEOs, flat is the new up. And that's what that actually means, is that CEOs are pausing on hiring undergraduates, entry-level jobs, because they're investing in AI. Why employ a human who works a certain number of days when you can employ an AI agent? And so that's the concern that many people and organizations are having. But it also, so this brings me nicely to my next question to you, Frank. You're Senior Vice President of Napster, but also you are the General Manager of Napster in Saudi Arabia. Now, Saudi Arabia and across the Gulf, they have their national vision. And at the heart of their national vision is employment, is human capital. And so how does this align with, how does agentic AI, a tool, a technology that replaces jobs, how does that fit with their Vision 2030?
Yeah, no, this is a really good question, because I want to clarify it. I strongly disagree with you that AI replaces jobs. So I come from Italy.
Yes.
And, Italy is well known. One of the good things it's about the food, right?
Yeah.
Make a good wine, if you wish, at the time. How we used to make wine 50, 100 years ago is not the same as we made wine today. Now, the fundamental thing is that, are you saying that the new industrial that now applies on making wine or making mozzarella or anything like that is replacing the old jobs? In reality, no. Because you still make a good wine and you still need the people to do it. Even now, if you got the mechanics,
But why do you need people? Because agentic AI replaces people. Why do you need people if you have an agent that does it for you?
From an operational point of view, from kind of automation point of view, it's kind of, I can see that you may say, yeah, it's replacing. By job is not done only by automation. It's far more than that, right? There is also elements, intelligence, and some of the jobs needs to have that empathy, that kind of emotion that you cannot replace. For example, you cannot replace, today I can have an AI agent, which is a teacher. Technically, I can have it. But that doesn't mean that we is going to replace all the teachers. It's impossible. And to replace those teachers may replace some of the activities that they do today at schools. That may be repetitive stuff, maybe adding more because a teacher, if you think about it right now, forget a little bit about the knowledge, which is easy to duplicate, but the teacher cannot personalize or know every single student in that class. There is a limitation of their time. AI could help on that, could help to know the user, the student in this case, one-to-one. But that is only one element of the journey of the education, because the other element is about coaching, mentoring, soft skills.
But don't you have those within those thousands of personas, AI agent personas that you have? Do you not have mentors and coaching?
We can.
Yes.
We can. We do have it, which helps you, but it's not having in miss that kind of humanity, which is more about the empathy and emotion that today you can have.
I support that argument, Frank. So, Malak, there was an experiment when this digital transformation hit the road. There was a posh restaurant in Saudi who wanted to apply this digital transformation, and they made their kiosks digital, and they replaced the person who was taking the order, and their sales actually went down because people coming to that restaurant wanted to talk to someone, not interact with the screens. So I agree, there is a role of the human. But on the same end, Frank, for the first time, just last week, there has been data put out by the National Survey where, historically, if your economy is not doing well, unemployment rises. Well, for the first time, the surprising part is economy is doing well, but there is high unemployment. And the reason is that artificial intelligence is the biggest cause for it. On almost all these big Ivy League universities, when they were having the graduation last month, as soon as the speaker of that assembly brings up artificial intelligence, they're booed out by the students. So the younger generation is getting very repellent to this idea of artificial intelligence, and there's fear that it's going to take over their job.
Well, it's their fear, to be honest. It's not. I don't think that there is a fear. I think the fear is that it's related to any kind of disruption technology. When there is a new technology, can be AI, can be internet, can be in mobile, can be television, any sort of technology, you got two options. Every human being has got two options. Either close your eyes,
or upskill yourself,
and hope that this will not have an impact in your society, in your own family, or you actually embrace it. Everyone has got to choose. When the internet was launched, there is also a big debate nowadays, about social media is bad, for kids or whatever. Every technology has got the good and the bad side of it, right? So nobody says that one technology is perfect because it's created by human being. As everything, we are human being, we are open to mistakes, okay? But the fundamental thing is that AI is not a bad thing, is not a good thing. AI, it is an enabler. And depending how you use in your own world, it can provide benefits or not benefits.
So how is then Napster playing in this? Is it only the persona element? I know you talk about the large persona model, LPMs rather than LLMs. So what is at the heart of Napster which is causing that disruption? Can you explain that?
Yeah, going back to the democratization type of concept, one of the two key pillars is democratizing the fact that everyone now owns their own audience and owns the data of those audience. But democratization is not just about that, because from a technology point of view, it's possible, everybody can do it. But democratization means that you need to democratize all the elements that come with it. For example, financial, because if this thing, it's easy to use, and I own the data, but still I need to pay a fortune, you're not democratizing a technology. So this is another, we spent a lot of years to optimize this technology, to make accessible also from a financial point of view, which today sees that we are from 20 times cheaper than the competition out there. So this is another key element that we have been working really hard to rewriting some of those pieces of technology to be optimized and therefore to cost less and affordable for the user. So right now, if just to give you an example, it's you pay 1 cent per minute by using an agentic AI agents, if you wish.
Voice agents, you're talking about voice
and video.
agent. Okay.
Voice and video, it's 1 cent per minute if you bring your own LLM, of course. So that is accessible to anyone in the world, not only capitalism countries,
So is this
but also any countries in
Is
the
this
world.
technology open source? Can anyone download the codes and implement it on their end, or is it your IP?
So the technology can be accessible. Everyone can develop their own things by using the API that we provide.
Okay.
It's open, the API, I mean, you can access to the API, you can build your own agent with your own content, with your own data, and you own it. We don't have access to it at all.
Okay.
We cannot see anything.
Ownership is with the
And
individual.
everything that you create, it's owned by you as well.
So then how is Napster making money?
So the money is the usage of this API. So from that 1 cent,
Okay.
essentially, we make money.
From the practice aspect, if I want to develop my sales department, can I do it on Napster's platform?
Yeah, you can.
Completely agent
But I tell you what,
develop the agency.
you don't need even our platform to do that. You need just our API. So you use the elements of those agents, but then the agents, the crew of these agents will live in your website, in your digital space.
Okay. How is this different from, let's assume, the agents available on OpenAI or Claude or other platforms? How is that different? Because Claude also has a agentic stack now. They have the sales, the legal, and all those elements. So how is yours different from that?
If you wish, again, it depending how you're going to use it. Because I give you an example. If you think about today, as we talk, Claude agentic AI, to build an agent, you need a little bit of skills to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you cannot take one, a guy from the street and build an agent. You require some training to do that. Even minimal, but they need it. We democratize that access as well, because another piece of work that we have done is into the user experience. So the user experience to build an agent with our platform, it's super simple and easy. You don't need any skills whatsoever to do it. Literally, it's a wizard with 7 steps.
Okay.
And in 5 minutes, you build it.
On any aspect like sales, marketing,
Exactly.
legal?
You decide. Yeah, absolutely.
So there's no. It's just quite simple. It's quite easy to build.
Yeah, think about,
But, but if I can, sorry.
Yeah.
Go on.
We were talking about before, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, broadly speaking, he didn't create any technology. I mean, the mouse was already there, before he brought into the market, as well as the iPod. There was already a similar product done by Sony, if you know what I mean. So he didn't invent the hot water, as we say, right? The hot water was already there. But his genius was actually to take that piece of technology and make accessible and easy to use to the mass market. Yeah. That's what we're trying to do here.
And you're making it cheaper, 20 times cheaper, did you say? I'm interested in, I think you may have answered it already, but are the costs linked to any of the larger LLMs? Are your costs associated with the current costs of LLMs?
Specifically, when we talk about this 1 cent, so there are multiple ways actually how you can use our API. The 1 cent specific, it's actually bring your own LLM.
Bring your own,
okay. LLM. Then we have got an API where actually, if you want, you can use the LLM which is already there. And by the way, you can choose which one you want.
But that one, do you rent it? The LLMs
it's
that you have?
It's an enablement, yes.
But this is important, and I tell you why it's important. Because at the moment, the true business case because we come back to they're not making any money, the larger artificial intelligence companies are not profit making. So at the moment, their costs are based on this current situation where billions and billions are being poured in from venture capitalists and banks. But what if the situation changes and they become they ask for more money, their business case changes? That will have a direct impact on your business model and your prices?
I don't think so, because you needed to learn from history. Every new technology at the beginning, you don't make any money.
Yeah.
As simple as that.
Yeah, Amazon lost 10
You
years.
don't make any money at all. Actually, you're losing a lot of money
True.
to do that. But what you have seen in the past 3 months recently, I don't know if you have read it, it's that shift of moving LLM on cloud into SLM into a machine. So basically, you don't need the power of the energy to run this LLM on cloud anymore for basic tasks. You can actually run a small language model into your laptop now.
You're absolutely right. There's actually...
So think about what was it, last week?
Yeah.
The big announcement of NVIDIA stepping into the laptop market. Because NVIDIA was well known for chips for major, processing and whatever. Now they're moving into it. Why? Again, because we cannot generally, this is nothing to do with Napster, but it's actually for the AI technology. The LLM, the growth of this technology cannot be sustainable in the long run, because you would need so much power, energy, and sometimes we talked about
and water. So
exactly data centers into the sea or data center into the space. We have heard that thing. So going back to your question, right now we are at the beginning of this revolution. At the beginning brings a lot of cost and brings a lot of death as well, by losing those jobs. But that doesn't mean that what we are experiencing today, we continuing.
It will
That's
reshape.
what I'm saying.
It will reshape.
It will be completely different.
We are talking about the politics, the GCC, especially the Middle East. So I want to understand what Malak has said. Building upon that, Frank, you are sitting at the heart of this digital transformation. And you know inside out the potential of this technology, especially agentic AI. We are not talking about LLMs now. And when the government comes in, one of the governments says that in 2 years' time, we'll turn our platforms agentic, completely 50% of the workforce. They have not said that the workforce would be gone, but they have said 50% of the government would be run by the agentic AI. 80% of agentic AI has failed inside the organizations. Agentic AI is not a panacea that you come in and you plug in a switch and it starts running. There is no company who has become fully agentic. How come a government can transform fully agentic? Where's the sandbox? Where are the operating models? Who has that knowledge right now that would enable someone to go 50% agentic? So what's the truth behind that statement? How do you evaluate that?
Well, talking specific about UE, we know that UE is well known to actually set the standards and then achieve them. And we have seen so many kind of world records done in UE. This is another world record that is they're trying to set, essentially. Now, is going to be easy? No, because otherwise everybody would do it.
Yeah.
Would it be impossible? Maybe, but let's try it. Let's make it happen. And then there is another. So then when you go down into the details, you need to understand that it depends on the level of the agentic AI, right? Because when we talk about agentic AI, it's a really broad even topic, because agentic can mean, it can does the job, right? Okay, but maybe it does one job, not 3 jobs. Right. So again, depending on which level we're going to go deep dive into the agentic AI deployments of this technology. But one key is important is that in order to fully embrace agentic AI, some of the systems needs to be rewritten from scratch. Some others can be adapted, some other can be, and this is a journey. It cannot come overnight. But one thing about this 50% within 2 years is that it set the North Star. And now it's up to us, company like us, to actually make it happen.
Can I ask a question? In the Middle East, they say that you are either the largest one or the number one. So you go either direction. So it's a first mover advantage that Dubai is doing. But we know within this whole space of AI, competing on buildings and large skyscrapers is something different. So you can be the largest one in the world, but when you are trying to be the number one in the AI space, it's actually the other countries who will benefit out of it because you'll become a sandbox. Other players in the market would learn from the failures over here and would better adopt. Don't you think that dynamics would play in?
The fundamental thing is that I don't think they are after to compete with LLM, right? This is my knowledge.
But they are being the number one in agentic implementation.
But on the implementation, on the implementation, they could be the first, the number one. And how they're going to do it? Well, we know that they don't have so much legacy that as we got primarily, in other countries, if you know what I mean. So even the deployment of this technology, it will be much.
But the thing is, with technology, Frank, you would know it better than me. The dynamics work differently. It's not about the first to market. It's about the first to do it right. And I'm not saying that Emirates can't do it right. They can, but there's a lot of risk as well, because if they do the wrong things, other players in the market would learn from it and do that better.
Imran, but don't you think learning and making mistakes, that's the whole process of becoming an expert and,
it is.
perfecting it. So I think I would actually not agree with your what you've just said. I think if they're going to start this, they're going to learn from their mistakes,
and they're
just
faster.
they're going to learn faster. And so it's
the operating model changing. The
operating model, it no longer stands. Traditional operating models are changing, and I don't think we should be viewing traditional operating models in the same lens as we've done before. Artificial intelligence is a completely different technology.
So you're absolutely right. Building on this point, Malak, Frank, what is the biggest challenge in the region that you're seeing? Well, let's talk about Saudi. What is the biggest challenge that you're seeing which would create a hurdle?
Well, if we think about, again, talking about AI challenge, of course, that's your question, right?
Because as Malak is saying, operating model is changing. There is a country who's bringing a push. They're the first to the market. It's going to have an impact on others. We know that the region likes a race. They're competing each other. So what are the challenges you're seeing with the rest of the countries coming in?
Yeah, well, first of all, before I talk to the challenge, it's important to say that I think Saudi Arabia sits in a really good position right now to make a big impact, not only in the region, but
They're
also
the highest
globally.
Investment, I think.
Also globally.
$100 billion.
Exactly. And also the population, it's up to it. Because if you go in Saudi Arabia, everyone knows what the framework, the blueprint 2030 is all about, from the taxi driver up to the
That's
chief
amazing.
executive.
You're absolutely right.
So exactly. So having a team, which is your nation,
aligned
on
the
to the vision, it's phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Then of course, it's not a straight line, but everybody knows where they're going to go, and maybe it's going to go like that, up and down and whatever, but they're going over there. So this is really important. Now the challenge is everything that comes with it, and practically, I can give you some examples. It's down to, we talked about LLM, right? So right now in Saudi Arabia, there isn't any LLM hosted in the country, except the one that they built.
With human.
Which is the humane one, which is called Alam. So that is...
And that is government regulated?
No, that is simply because the infrastructure was not there since day one, right? So now they are building data centers. Even Microsoft is building a data center.
Amazon is doing it.
Even Elon Musk is coming, So the challenge today is to build the right infrastructure. But the infrastructure that they're building here in Saudi Arabia right now, it's not for the next 5 years. It's actually for the next 20, 50 years. So This is why it's taking some time to get there. But once, all these pieces will put together, will be implemented, it's going to be a rocket. It's going to be a rocket.
So we understand this dynamics. Now coming back to Napster, I'm very interested in the aspect that you mentioned with respect to large persona models. And my question is, as Malak was pointing out, if you have one agent and you have another agent with the same knowledge, the same practice, the same intelligence, why do you need a personality to an agent? Agent is just doing a job. So what would a persona do?
Yeah, because, so let's take an example.
Yeah.
Me and you, we work together, right? We were on the same team. You do a job, I do a job. Yeah. If I want to replace you with an agent, right, I need an agent that does far more than your job. Because the way that we do the job, it's, as now, we are talking. Yeah, we have this, again, empathy. Yeah. You got your own characteristic, not just knowledge, but you got also your characteristic, your culture, where you're coming from, your accent, right? So the large persona model that we built is to give that extra element to the agent. It's provide more than 30 psychometrics parameters to that automatic machine. So it's not a machine just itself that execute the job, but it's actually part of your team. So it's not a slave.
Okay.
Do this job and shut up. Actually, you are part.
So it would have emotions?
You're going to have emotions, very soon.
Wow.
Not now. Very soon you will have emotions. But essentially, you create your crew of agency. And that is your team. And guess what? You can pull in and out the agents only when you need it. Because, not necessarily you need a graphic designer, just to give an example, full time. You may need a graphic designer that specific expertise just to do a specific job. And then you pull in the agents only when you need it. Yeah. So we go into this, what we call this scalable enterprise. So in enterprise today, usually everyone has got their own number of employees. How many employees you got? 200, 10,000, whatever. The future is going to be that an enterprise will not have just a fixed number. Will have a very valuable number made up by digital employees and real employees.
But then the jobs would be lost, as Malak was saying.
It will be lost,
it will be dynamic.
But I'll tell you something, actually. By you saying that, it's really interesting because I can see this working because as someone who has a startup, and we don't have that much, our funds are restricted. For the entrepreneur, this would be amazing.
This would be amazing. Absolutely.
And so I suppose the qualities of people to become successful will be entrepreneurial skills and to work with these agents. I can see it working for the smaller businesses, but I can see how devastating it is for the medium and larger businesses because they will not need people. These agents will become so sophisticated, so human-like that they can and will replace humans. But if we're in a society that we are all entrepreneurs and we're all creating a company, so it's like a one-person company, then okay, but I don't see it happening if 20, 30 million of us or just have a one-person company. Will that actually work?
Yeah, we will know. We will know, very soon if that could be the case. But I want to go back on what just you said. AI is not replacing people. I mean, sorry to say that, but I strongly believe on it. It will optimize. It will. Maybe you don't need. Let's say, we got a team of 10 people. Maybe tomorrow, with these new technologies that are coming into the market, we may don't need 10. We need to have 7 people. Okay, yeah. Now you are focusing on the 3 people. Instead, I focus on the 7. But still, it's the same story.
Where the universal income comes
potentially.
In.
That is a really good idea. But I still believe that, and again, we need to go case by cases, but I still believe that people lose their job not for the AI, but because maybe they did embrace AI. Because maybe they lost that job, you're right, but then they found another job. The fundamental problem is, the key thing is, it's not a problem to lose a job. Everybody loses jobs, even before AI. But the problem is, if you don't find another job, that is the problem, not losing job. So when you say 70% lose the job, so what? Tell me, out of those 70%, how many of them found a new job? That is where things get really interesting, right? Because, again, the fundamental thing is that we need to make sure that everyone has got a job. But maybe you're going to lose today's job, but you will find another job tomorrow.
Okay.
So current immediate impact is unemployment, in other words, but the people will have to upskill themselves in order to fit back into the environment. I completely agree that artificial intelligence...
How old are you?
I'm 44.
44. Perfect. Now, when you left university, how old you were?
28.
So 28, 44, right? Are you saying that what the skills, the experience, the expertise that you had at 22 is the same that you got at 44? Why? Because you learn, you upskills.
Yeah.
So the fact that we constantly need to upskill ourselves, again, it's not new. So don't blame AI. It's not new.
True. But the interesting dynamic here is, Frank, that the younger generation despises AI rather than likes it. They are very much against it because they are finding it as something that's going to replace the jobs. That's a general perception. We've seen it in the...
I cannot comment that because I don't know the numbers. You know, I can tell you that with the younger generation that I work with, I don't have that feedback. And I work with a lot of schools, universities.
That's in Saudi Arabia.
In Saudi Arabia.
But so do you see the difference here? And this is where I keep pushing for government has a major role to play in this. Because the people that a younger generation you are working with and exposed to, they already have a sense of security. Their government will protect them from AI. AI is being implemented to enhance their learning, enhance the prosperity and their future. Here, in a capitalist society, open market society, we don't get that. We don't get that feeling of security because we know the government will not step in and save our jobs because that is not what they do. That is not what they do, unless it's really mass job loss, and then they're forced to.
Can I add to that, Malak? So I'll practically connect it. 2 months back, Frank, when this whole shift was coming in, and Claude was bringing in a product every day, I started learning N8N, which is the automation platform. I spent 2 weeks' time before Claude connected with N8N, and in literally 2 weeks, I was doing a course. And then the next day, I just click and connect with Claude plugin, and Claude does the job that I was learning for the past 2 weeks. So lucky for me that I didn't suffer much, but I was sorry for the IT graduate who has spent like 4 years doing a coding degree, and now Claude is doing everything that an IT graduate would distinguish himself in the market. The other side of the picture is that with my strategy knowledge and now having the capability that IT graduate has, my capabilities have gone much higher because I can not only think about the app I want, I can design the app that I want. I do not need that IT graduate to do it for me. So in other words, there would be a shift in the market. Technical skills would go on the lower end, because STEM has been right at the front and center driving this process. But don't you think that STEM would now take a back seat and it would be more kind of these emotional aspects, these psychology degrees, this English literature or strategy and marketing, these aspects that would come at the forefront? Because if you have them and a deeper understanding, technical is something that everyone will be equipped with.
Yeah, but look, every job, you just mentioned software engineering, as an example, but every job with the progression of new technology will be optimized. Okay, so this is not a problem that exists right now with AI. As I said before, that could be applied into the industrial revolution. That before a job that you could do, you had to do with your hands, I don't see that as a problem personally. I see that as a human evolution in every aspect of our life, So maybe what we can argue is that the speed, so not what is happening, but how fast is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, I think it's much more interesting topic, because look, it's going to happen in every single thing. You know, if we can leap to 50 years from now, we're going to see so many other jobs, nothing related to AI, that has changed. So people, you know, improved or whatever, but it took 50 years, right? Instead here, we are seeing that some of the jobs, you know, are optimized with AI in a matter of months. So the speed, for me, it's very more important. So I think we need to focus it's how we can reskill those people at the same speed of how AI is revolutionizing their jobs.
You're absolutely right. And especially that's happening in Saudi. It's not actually the story of transformation. The real story is the speed of transformation at which things are changing is the real change.
So if you think about speed,
Yeah.
and we go back to the Western countries, that is where we'll have a much bigger impact, you know, this disruption, because unfortunately they don't move quite fast.
True.
Right?
Yes,
True.
yeah.
So,
It's highly bureaucratic, and I suppose Europe is a lot worse than the UK. It's probably
you know, so essentially that's, I think, it's one of the key elements. It's how you know, governments can move fast in some elements in order to be much more aligned with the time of changes that is happening into the market.
So if we can go to AI agents, Napster's AI agents in higher education, because I know that's an area that you're also into. Do you want to walk us through Napster's AI agents for higher education, and what's the plan?
Yeah, I mean, I can give you an example of, let me tell you, a kind of a day in the life of a student. So a student needs to choose the university, right? So right now, how they do it, searching millions of pages, every website pretty much looks the same. One has got more videos, another one is not, but pretty much it looks, so he needs to spend a lot of time to digest it. So one key revolution there is that how about the student go to the university website, instead of analyzing hundreds of pages, reading thousands of PDFs, actually can have an agent that he can talk to straight away, answer all his questions.
Like what questions?
I'm interested in math.
Yeah.
What type of programs you got? Well, I can and then you know, he can tell you more about the program.
But that means the student will still have to access, because by the way, students don't spend hundreds and hundreds of hours going through papers or PDFs. What they do is they take guidance from the sixth form, from the school, from the teachers.
No, my daughter.
Yeah, what does she do?
No, my daughter. My daughter spent hours to choose the right. She was in Italy, and she wanted to move to London, and therefore, you know, again, we win in a global market. She had to choose a university in London.
But she'll get guidance from the teachers, or not?
But the teachers didn't know anything about the university.
Yeah, true. Their
in
knowledge
London.
is limited.
So you are on your own. So when you are on your own, either somebody helps you or you're going to spend hours on reading it. Or even if you decide to go to that university, then you need to go through the application. And sometimes the applications can be even a nightmare to do. Yes, again, if you would have an agent, the application will be done by him, just asking you what they need into the application.
What do you mean, the actual application, the university application? So so UCAS, through what we call kind of UCAS, that whole system.
The UCAS, you know, you can have an agent there actually can navigate that. I personally actually had an experience with UCAS because I had to write my daughter through the university.
Personal statements and all that they can.
Exactly. My daughter said, I don't know how to use this application, so I had to study that. And going back, if I would have there an agent says, look, I'm from Italy, my daughter is from Italy, he wants to come to London, tell me what I have to do. A, B, C, instead of again reading all the different. And by the way, I can say, can you talk in Italian?
Wow. Yeah.
Because those agents can talk more than 100 languages in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
So again, you got an intelligent person fully knows about that system that
But
you can
hold on,
interact
are you
with.
not describing ChatGPT? I could just ask the question through ChatGPT.
No, ChatGPT is an open, it's not specialized for that specific.
Will it not give me the same answer?
Potentially, but again, how secure is that? That answer is right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
the
it
agent
hallucinates.
knows only that university, doesn't know all the university of the world. Type of
Oh,
thing.
I see.
It's specialized for that. It's the Westminster agent university. Just to give you an
got
example.
it. Okay, so you would have agentic model within
Everyone has got
institutions.
their own agent.
And that
Yeah.
actually reduces the hallucination
That
rate
would really-
significantly
absolutely.
because one problem with AI is that it produces inaccurate data, references, it hallucinates and you don't know when it hallucinates. So yeah, you are.
So you got to
absolutely right.
just, each university has got their own agents that they train based on their own data with their own process, etc., etc. The student got accepted, okay, but the student doesn't know that university. So how about the student would be able to actually talk before he go into day one to actually explain his fears, right? Look, I'm a little bit, I'm not
Nervous, yeah.
nervous.
About accommodation.
Where to go,
and
then I don't know
all-
where to go, where are the classes or whatever. So you can coach, you can mentoring the student before even step day one
Yeah,
at
I
the
can
university.
see that's really valuable. Yeah,
You go into the university, step one, and you got your agent in your headphones
yeah.
connected. Said, okay, I'm here, Mr. Whatever, right? So where should I go? Calm down, breathe. The class will start in 10 minutes, so you got plenty of time. Look on your right, take a coffee. Actually, don't take a coffee, take a chamomile tea.
And that is where the personality comes in as well, because you have an agent with a personality.
But that is also where you stop human interaction, because I remember when I started university, and absolutely you're describing it perfectly, where you don't know where to go and you're forced to interact with people and ask where should we, what do we do, and you just communicate. And what that will do, I can just see a situation where everyone becomes even more isolated than they
That's
are now.
my worry as well. Don't you think that would happen, that people would stop interacting with each other and they would just interact with agents?
I will not ask your age, as I did with him, right? I will not ask your age. But let me tell you, when I was I had the same experience, and I loved that because I describe myself as a social animal. I like social,
Yeah,
right?
extrovert.
I like social.
Yeah.
But the reality, even today, aside the AI agent, with all the social media, it's not so
Yeah, the situation
good.
has changed.
It's changed.
True.
So even those people right now, you can see, if you go to university, I went to visit my daughter, you can see a lot of people there in the bar in their own phone.
Yes,
I remember when I was there, we were making noise, in the bar, right?
Yeah.
So even that, they isolate itself. But the fundamental thing is that you access this to help you. Again,
To reduce anxiety, I suppose, and to run things to run smoother.
things carry on, right? Because, okay, now we got into the school, into the class. He is learning chemistry, right? And there is the first exam. But you know what? I was afraid to ask a question. Or I forgot to ask that question. Now I'm at home preparing for the assessment tomorrow. Let me talk to the digital twin of my professor. So I opened up the digital twin of my professor. I said, hey, prof, I understand that thing. Can you tell me again? He will explain it.
That's
I said,
really interesting, actually.
no, I still don't get it. Can you explain me as a 5 years old person? He will give examples that we will. So it's a
That's
personalized,
amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
personalized type of experience.
It will stop, actually. It will stop those emails. As a university lecturer myself, and Imran, it
Yeah.
will stop students,
The flow
of constant emails. Can you describe this? Can you help me with this? Because you do have that, and I can
That's
see.
a huge administrative
That is
burden.
It works for both ways, right?
Yeah.
The student gets benefits, and the teacher doesn't need to repeat things for 1,000 people. Type of
But do you
things.
see teachers professors will be replaced? Can
No.
you?
No, because teaching is far more than knowledge transferred. It's far more than that. It's deep. It's we're talking about, that mentoring, that emotion, that coaching, that empathy, type of thing that you need to have in order to work in this society. type of thing. But what you can do is that now our friend, student now passed the exams, and now he's doing a work together with his group, right? But while they're doing that group at university, they would need the teacher involved. But the teacher, the professor, is doing a lecture on the other room. So again, by activating a video of your device, the digital twin of the professor will see you. So if you got a whiteboard and you are drawing down there the chemistry formula, whatever, the digital twin of the professor can see what you're doing and he can guide you. Said, no, what you wrote is wrong. Remove that line. So I remove the real line. So you got this merge of digital and physical space getting together, because now he can see what you see, right? It's not just executing. He's got eyes as well.
That's amazing.
While at the same time, he's doing, the
And we
real
know that
professor.
this is very, very much a reality. This is not a science fiction we are talking about.
No,
This
but
is
But no
I'm
one's
getting
impl-
there.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. So, and then there is a far more that unfortunately I cannot reveal here because there is the new products that we're building. But I can tell you the story doesn't end there. Okay.
And then there's healthcare. You can do the same thing.
Now, into this day of the life, add the parents element into it. Add the investor of the school element of it. You can see how exponential the use of this AI can be, because me as a teacher, as a parent, I want to know more, so I would be able to access to the school wherever I want through the digital twin.
So, Frank, do you think then our lives would become very robotic? For example, if tomorrow this person who is going through this experience have to apply for a job, maybe there's a player in the market who comes up with a agentic AI score for the person,
Of
personality score, and then the job guys, they see that score, and based on that score, they give the job.
Of course. Going back to this agent, this is why agent cannot be a prompt, because it's far more than a prompt. Going back to Elon Musk, he's creating his own robot, Optimus. He's not putting wheels to his robot. He's putting legs. Maybe from a physics point of view, it would be much easier and cost-effective to put wheels to his robot. Instead, he's putting legs. Why?
Brain association.
Because he needs to look more human-like.
True.
Well, they're called humanoids.
True.
And the same is the agents.
True.
So the reason why we are bringing personality to agents is not because we want to sell our video omni-agent platform, it's because this is the nature of this technology.
Very true. That's a genius, I would say. That's a genius.
So this is Napster. This is the revolution that we are bringing to the table.
So, Frank, tell me, I'm now talking about a signature question. What is a belief that, in your view, an intelligent person holds about AI today that in 5 years' time would be gone? That belief would be wrong. It would not exist, because this that you're talking about is revolutionary. How you're seeing it would change the perspective of people on AI in 5 years' time.
If we will not change, means that we're doing a wrong job. Because it must change the perspective. Because nobody has got a magic sphere in our hands, a magic ball, right? So we truly believe this is the North
Complete
Star.
everything would change in your view.
No, not everything change, but it will shape and adapt based on the evolution and the impact that what we got today or what we're building for tomorrow will have the day after tomorrow. I cannot tell you that what we got today, it's what we're going to have in 20 years. But what I can tell you is what we got today, it's what will shape the next years of society.
And what is that which you want people to say 10 years down the line that Napster got it right before anyone else? What is that element?
Two elements. Number one, ownership of your clients. Ownership of your clients, fans, whatever business is. Yeah? A second, it's ownership of data of those clients. Those two things, from our point of view, must sit with the end user, with the end company.
That in itself would be the economy. You are the GM of Saudi Arabia. How's the experience heading an organization which is at the center of disruption? What is your experience like? What is your day-to-day activity like where agents are transforming everything?
My day-to-day activity in Saudi Arabia, it's actually spending time with people.
Very good.
So I spend really few time on my laptop. I spend a lot of time with my partners, clients.
That's amazing,
single
actually.
day.
That's amazing.
And the time that I spend is not during working hours. Literally, we spend time 24 hours almost, right? So we don't have any boundaries.
Yeah.
But because, again, we see each other as part of the same team, that we are making a story here, a history here. We're not simply delivering a job. We are redesigning stuff as we go.
And what's the company culture like? How is it changing the culture? What impact, in your view, has it?
Well, clearly, we embrace this technology before actually we sell it.
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
We use it quite heavily, the agents, and to be, we didn't talk about the digital twin as well, right? I mean, we just mentioned, but there is a Frank digital twin right now. And while we're having this conversation, if some of my colleagues wants an email or wants to ask me anything, he cannot wait until we finish here, go back to the office. He can talk to my digital twin. So we are always available 24 hours, every single of us, and of course,
so can we test it? So if we were to call Frank, your digital twin now, will he pick up?
Yeah, of course.
Let's try.
Yeah.
Try that.
Okay. So what we are doing here right now, we are connected to my digital twin. Now, this digital twin that I'm going to show you, it's actually the public one.
Okay.
Which means that doesn't have access to confidential information.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So, hey, Frank, can you tell me what's your role?
Sure thing, Frank. I'm the digital twin of Frank Furnari. My role is to embody your insights and expertise. I focus on pioneering AI and innovation, especially in support of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030. I help drive transformation.
Okay, Frank, tell me, what an Italian person is doing in Saudi Arabia?
Well, that's a great question. An Italian professional in Saudi Arabia might be involved in a range of exciting opportunities, whether it's contributing to the kingdom's Vision 2030.
Okay, tell me what Napster is all about in Arabic.
بالتأكيد نابستر اليوم هي شركة رائدة في مجال الابتكار الرقمي تركز على تمكين الصناعات الإبداعية.
Actually, can you tell me in Chinese now?
好的，没问题。简而言之 ，Napster 目前致力于通过人工智能和先进技术。
Right, this is just an
Make an
example.
Yeah, absolutely. This is absolutely.
As you go.
So we believe that's where the agentic leadership comes into place. It's about leading the organizations when the systems are taking over. And I think that's the place where boards do not have enough education in the corporate sector. And that's going to be a big piece of work, which is not being addressed by universities, which is not being addressed by the consulting firms, because consulting firms do consulting and universities do knowledge sharing. And no one is talking about that impact.
Yeah.
That is where agentic leadership comes in and will have a fundamental transformative role on the organizations.
There is so many aspects like this one.
Absolutely.
That needs to be completely redesigned.
True.
Yeah.
That
Wow,
is
that's an
that
area,
is the
that's
operating
a-
model redesign.
Yeah,
True.
exactly. That's really interesting.
After seeing your digital twin and your words, they don't. This particular one is public. It doesn't have access to your sensitive information. And I just thought, actually, hold on. There's a real security risk. How are you protecting
Oh, yeah.
your information? Because hackers exist, and no one can say that it's 100% hacker-proof. Any technology is not 100% hacker-proof. And so if we're living in a world of digital twins, I mean, how are you protecting your information?
This is really, we didn't talk about security, but, security, I think we can have another 2 hours podcast.
True.
Because we truly believe.
It goes hand in hand.
We
It goes
truly
hand in
believe
hand.
in security. I mean, this is, again, one of the key big difference between proper companies with proper products and startups, if you
True.
wish. Right? Because startups maybe have the best technology to do that and that, but nobody can use it because it doesn't come with that robust security certification that an enterprise has got. Now, we are primarily an enterprise, B2B type of company, and we take security highly important for us. And then one of the key framework that we deployed, the framework that we deployed is the highest standard from the market, that you can find.
The ISOs,
right
the
now.
27,001, 42,000, and
SOC,
ISOs, yeah, SOC, SOCs,
whatever.
and
Then really tied into the Microsoft as well security framework as well. So security is fundamental of this. It's a key element of this whole technology.
of holding it together. They go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
What is the mix of your staff? So the people that you recruit, including AI agents. What's the percentage of AI agents that make your team for Napster? Do you have the information?
We don't have a number as such because we are very fluid in terms of when it comes to very agile when it comes to agents. I'm saying when I need to review something, to do some work, I can pull in any agents as I like.
To review?
To review or to
design,
create, or to design, like a graphic designer. Or if I wanted that paragraph to be rewritten, in a different way or whatever, I pull in all the different people that I like, into this. Because we got more than thousands of agents, available on this. So the team is very agile depending on the type of work, that you need to do it.
Perfect. NVIDIA has trialed in the past month, I think 2 months back, they have trialed in the US 100 houses that would have their own data center, mini data centers. So you no longer would need those big cloud factories to have to store your data because data centers would be housed at homes.
There are 3 elements on this. I think we touched on this. So AI can sit in a cloud data center. It can sit at the edge AI, and this is exactly what you're talking about, and can sit
in the computer.
On device.
Yeah, on the device.
Okay. Now, everything started with data center. And this is where people realize, we cannot keep building data centers like that. We need more water, we need more energy, where are we going to go?
Yeah.
Edge AI is coming, with these. They are literally like a set-top box. They are really small.
Yeah.
You don't need, it's like a pure set-top box, like an Apple TV type of thing, and that can run LLMs on it.
Yeah.
And now we are going into laptops.
Within the laptops,
now,
true.
I personally don't think that one of them will win. I think everyone will win it. I think it's that if you have to do some basic computation on the AI, that basic computation will happen on your laptop. But if you require more intelligence, more computation, automatically, without you maybe knowing where is retrieving the information, tap into the cloud or into the edge first. So this is where we are approaching now where computation will sit. It can sit anywhere, the computation. And now it's happening.
True, the load gets distributed. Frank, it has been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
We stand enlightened by your discussion. And it's fascinating the way things are moving. And one thing that stands out for me in your discussion is the speed. I think that's going to be the game changer for everything that's connected to it.
Focus on the speed of the change and not the change itself.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That was really good.